who are expert at memorizing. They can memorize all kinds of shlokas. They can memorize different tricky ways of dealing with people. They're very expert at this memorization. But memorization is not knowledge, not in the Vedic sense. Knowledge, in the Vedic sense, means direct consciousness of the things spoken of in the Shastra. Not that we simply have some words that we can throw around and impress gullible people. What kind of realization is that? That's just a mental platform. So we want everyone to understand the real science of Bhakti Yoga. That's why we don't hold anything back. We even give Vedānta-sūtra. If anybody gets to that stage, they can go study Vedānta-sūtra on our website. It's all there. It's all free. You can download it. You can read it, study it. And you should. You should, because this contains very, very important information about our philosophy that if you don't know, you cannot be a guru. How can you be a guru unless you know what is the conclusion of the Vedas? That's what Vedānta-sūtra is. It's the conclusion. The final conclusion of the Vedas. After so many Vedic literatures, the story is given in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that Vyasadeva wrote the 4 Vedas. Then he wrote the Upanishads, which are excerpts from the Vedas. He wrote 18 Puranas, 6 for those in the mode of goodness, 6 in the mode of passion, 6 in the mode of ignorance. He wrote so many other Vedic histories, laws, itihasas, different instructions on yoga and stuff like that, tantras and so on and so forth. But he had not written about pure devotional service. So he was feeling a little dissatisfied. And so Narada, his spiritual master, came to him and he said, well, what's wrong? He could tell immediately Vyasadeva was not feeling very good. He said, what's wrong? Why are you dissatisfied? And Vyasadeva said, well, you know, I've compiled so many Vedic literatures in all this, but they're all basically kind of on the external level. And Narada said, yes, that's right. You have written so many Vedic literatures, but the principle in these Vedic literatures is basically karma, external religious principles. You are tricking people, you're cheating people. You are using the, you are offering them some material benefit and using that to get them to do little spiritual service. Hear a little bit about the demigods and the name of God and so on like that. Because all the demigods, actually, their names come from Vishnu. You know? No?
I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah, they just borrow their names. Those aren't their real names. Like Indra, for example. Indra can be, there are different people who become Indra at different times. Even the Manus, the progenitors of mankind, they're only, they hold office for, I think it's 22 Divya Yugas or something like that. About 72 million years. And then they're replaced. There's a big devastation, the end of the day of Brahma, and then they're replaced with the new Manus and so on. So there are many different individuals who hold these posts, known as Indra, Manus, Varuna, and the various other devas. It's not like there's one person and he's always Indra. No. Indra is a job. Indra is a title in an organization, the organization of the controllers of the universe. Yeah, it's narrated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that when Gopakumar went to the heavenly planets, that Indra got in trouble He had seduced the wife of some sage, and the sage cursed him. And so he was very much afraid of this curse. And so he went into hiding. And suddenly it's like, well, where's Indra? I don't know. He ran off someplace. But wait a minute, you know, like, we got a universe to run here, you know, come on. We got to have an Indra. So they approached Vamanadev. Vamanadev is the brother, appears as the brother of Indra. And Vamanadev said, well, let's just ask Gopakumar to be Indra for a while. So Gopakumar became Indra. He didn't like it. It's too much opulence and stuff. You know, so he didn't like put on all the fancy clothes and jewels and all that stuff. He just kept his normal dress as a cowherd boy, but somehow he did the duties of Indra. So you see, there's a lot of individuality, a lot of differences among the demigods, and their names originally come, well, you can see them in Vishnu Sahasranam. There's Indra, there's Dharma, which is the name of the Lord of Death, Yamaraj. His other name is Dharma. There's Durga, Shiva. All of these are names of the Supreme. But different demigods borrow those names because they perform certain functions associated with those names.
Except Shiva.
Well, Shiva, there's different Shivas. There's also different Shivas. Within each universe, first of all, there's the Sadashiva. Sadashiva is almost on the same level as Narayana. But he is directly in touch with Maya. He's directly in touch with the material energy. So he does not accept worship on the level of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has a different tattva. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, his ontological station is known as Vishnu tattva. Vishnu means the controller, the all-pervading one, the source of everything, and so on. So all the expansions, all the direct expansions of Krishna are Vishnu tattva. And their consorts are Lakshmis. However, Shiva, he's directly in touch with Maya, the material, the sum total of the material energy, the Mahatattva personified, Durga. And Durga is also Krishna's potency, but because she's material and he's in touch with her, then he is not worshipped on the same platform. He's not given the same elevated respect as Vishnu. A little less. And his tattva is Shiva tattva. See? So then within every universe there is a Lord Shiva who may or may not be a direct expansion of Sadashiva. He may be the same personality if there's no one to fill that role, or he may be a very highly advanced devotee who takes that role. And then there are his sons, who are called the Rudras. See? And so there are many Rudras. I think there's 11 Rudras in this universe. And they're like the sons of Shiva. But they're all living entities. They're all living entities, but they perform tasks related to the mode of ignorance, management of that mode, that guna, the quality of material energy. So you see, things are appropriately complex in the management of the universe, just to give the Lord flexibility that he needs to create this masterful illusion. It's really wonderful, amazing what he does. So anyway, we should learn all these things. We should learn Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, how it describes, first of all, the universal creation. Then it describes the process of devotional service. And finally, it describes the perfection of devotional service in Vrindavan. Krishna's Vrindavan Leela, Krishna's intimate pastimes with the gopis. Now, these were never described before in any Shastra. They're too confidential. So when Vyasadeva was chastised by his spiritual master that, look, you're offering people some bribe. It's the same thing we're doing by instructing people to chant Vishnu Sahasranam. It is. I have nothing to hide. You want to be healthy, wealthy, famous, beautiful? Chant Vishnu Sahasranam. You want to have your material difficulties minimized? Chant Vishnu Sahasranam. Do you want to become prominent in whatever social circles you're in? Chant Vishnu Sahasranam.